Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
And I will share my screen. Today I only have one screen, so we will I will need to organize myself in another way. So I hope that you are seeing now. Are you seeing the usual slide with the speakers today?
Yes, Antonio.
Okay, without the list of participants. Okay, I hope everything is all right. Thank you very much. What time is it? So today we have a really intensive session. We will speak about the cosmetic value chains. For that, we have excellent examples, excellent leaderships on that area. So we will cover 4 different point of views. Okay, but I think Ilaria is with us. Is Ilaria with us? Not yet. No.
I think that she's coming in a few minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yes, Ilaria is here. Hello, Ilaria. Buongiorno. So I will let you introduce today's session.
Thank you. Thank you. Just tell me when can I start?
Yes, you can start now because it's time. Thank you.
So thank you, Antonio, for the chance and opportunity and for the work the European Clusters Alliance is doing to help better strengthen connections between political, economic, and social dimension with concrete results. I would just like to mention that we are in the final days of European Alliance Against Coronavirus before the stop of August, and then come back again in September. Just to remind, this conversation will be registered and all materials will be available, published on the ECCP platform of the European Commission. So I am really glad and I was really looking forward to introduce this panel of speakers today. Here we have leading actors that are guiding the growth of the beauty industry, cosmetics and personal care. We can say not only at regional, national, and European level, but also at a global level. I just can mention the Global Cosmetic Cluster, the Worldwide Beauty Connection Networks, amazing industry, amazing initiative, really guided by the European clusters. So here we have, I see Matteo Locatelli, Vice President of Cosmetica Italia, the Italian Association of Cosmetic Industry. Then we will have Roberto Rocca from Politecnico di Milano, the Observatory for Sustainable and Digital Beauty. Adrián Martínez Noveleta, Project Manager from the Beauty Clusters Barcelona. And last, but absolutely not least, Justine Hegon, Project Manager from Cosmetic Valley. So thank you all for being here. Just to start, I can say that cosmetic sector has been strongly impacted by the crisis, the COVID-19 crisis, not all companies equally. So let's explore the situation, the disruptions, the reaction, and also how the value chain was fostering resilience in this context. So I'm going to immediately give the word to Matteo Locatelli. Matteo, if you have something to share, I think Antonio
Hello,
can
good
give.
morning. Yes, I have a brief presentation. Let me check because ok, condividi. Destra dell'applicazione. Give me 1 second because okay. Do you see my presentation?
Not yet. Yes, now it's perfect.
Okay, so good morning to everybody. I'm Matteo Locatelli, the owner of a cosmetic production company and the vice president of Cosmetic Italia, that is the Italian Personal Care Association. I will quickly share some data on the economic performance of the associated companies with pre and post COVID analysis developed by our internal statistic department. So, Cosmetic Italia has almost 600 companies that are 90% of SMEs and representing 95% of the total Italian cosmetic turnover. And in association, to ensure the best assistance, all the associates are divided into groups based on the type of product and the sales channel, professional, retailing, manufacturing, and so on. This is briefly all the service provided by the association, based obviously on the technical regulatory area and on export, university, school, communication, and so and so. So this is the turnover of the associates divided in the different channel. So this is the sell-in of 2019, and it was 12 billions of euros. And here you can see how the turnover of the companies in the cosmetic industries are added. In this chart you can see all the turnover of the associated company and also the selling point, the value chain, the standard supply chain, and so this the total turnover estimated of the cosmetic area, cosmetic field. We have a good trade balance, and so about almost 3 billions of euros, and we are behind the Italian wines and furniture, but ahead to pasta, yacht, and motorbike, and so on. So this is the chart that evaluated the growth of this trade balance during the past 25-30 years. Our statistic department has, in this, due to the COVID period, has already detected the result of June 2020 and compare it with 2019. And as you can see, the average loss of the entire cosmetic sector is around 50%, thanks obviously to the strong growth of the e-commerce, because you see the numbers are from 30 to 40% less than the standard year. And so this is a comparison, because to understand that so the only products that survived to the COVID were the body hygiene product that keep this is between at the beginning of the COVID time, and this is in June, and so you can see that the other product categories are the most minus 10%, but the body hygienic product can stay stable on the market. So this is the analysis divided per week. You see on the top body hygiene product and the other product categories. So what's the outlook? So the data show that there is a market economic recovery on our field, but making a prediction is right now, everybody say, is impossible. So talking with some entrepreneurs, I reduce. Okay, so everyone is looking for some ideas and solution, although nobody has a real solution. So however, what we will be needed is I think a realistic recovery scenario, so so that each of us can understand which could be the right one for his business model, and try to follow it. So if it is true that after every crisis there has been a recovery, it's also true that the business model have always changed in unpredictable forms. So our real challenge will be to find a model to be inspired to build our own development and action plan. This is one of the requests that we made to the Cosmetic Observatory of Politecnico, in which I think I can address to this cluster alliance. So another problem, what will be the destiny of the consumer goods? So cosmetics is consumer goods. So if this lockdown has induced the consumer to give up the non-essential goods in favor of necessary good, so you see as the hygienic cosmetic in comparison, for example, to the makeup that which is the sector that has suffered the most at the production level in Italy. What will be the production scenarios of the post-COVID era? So which cosmetic product will survive, and what will be the new cosmetic products? So this is the question, and so finally, leave me the last second of my speech on sustainability, because I'm in association, the advisor of sustainability development. So we think everyone think that too much SMEs have suspended many of their investment and the sustainable project in order to survive, to pass this moment. So the last question is, how long can we stop our journey to a sustainable future? So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Matteo. Thank you very much for raising up all these relevant questions and issues, and that you also give the word to Roberto Rocca from Politecnico di Milano, the Observatory for Sustainable and Digital Beauty. So exactly the job in order to design new scenarios of the development of this value chain. So Roberto, the word is yours. Do you have?
Yes. Good morning, and thank you, Ilaria.
Thank you, Roberto.
Yes, can you give me the right to share my screen, please?
Do you have it? Antonio, could you give to Roberto the right to present? Okay.
Yes, I was in it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, do you see my screen?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you, Ilaria. Thank you also to Dr. Matteo Locatelli for the.
Roberto, if you use the presentation mode, we can see wider. Sure. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you to you, Ilaria, and thank you to Dr. Matteo Locatelli for the good insight related to the cosmetic sector. I will show you just a few slides regarding our sustainable and digital beauty research observatory in Politecnico di Milano. So I'm Roberto Rocca. I'm very sorry, I don't know, but I can't share my camera, so you can see me now, but I'm this guy. And I'm the coordinator of the Research Observatory, and I'm working with Professor Luca Fumagalli and Professor Filippo Maria Renga, that are the directors of this Research Observatory. Okay, just a few premises on the observatory. In general, today's market are continuously dynamic and increasingly dynamic, and are characterized by several kind of disruptive trends like mass customization and a changement in behavior of consumers and a shorter product life cycle. And of course, the cosmetic sector is not an exception in this sense, and are characterized by three main disruptive trends that are related to sustainability paradigm, digitalization paradigm, and resilience paradigm. So from the sustainability point of view, cosmetic sector is involved in terms since provide different kind of biodiversity related to natural resources. So it's very important for the different stakeholders of supply chains to provide more sustainable solution to the market. And the digitalization is a trend that is by definition technocentric, but involves different kind of aspect of the business model of enterprises from a technological point of view, human point of view, and business point of view, and allows new tools and technologies to create more flexible and more agile factories and enterprises to meet the customer needs. And of course, resilience has the ability to respond to exogenous and endogenous impact related to the supply chains. So the main important things for the sector is to detect which are these disruptive trends, and of course, research and innovation can be the lifeblood of the market in terms of creation of competitive advantages for the sector. So it's very important for the companies of cosmetic sector, more than other for small medium enterprises that often don't have the resources and the time to spend in terms of research innovation, to leverage on the university and on the research side to foster these disruptive trends and create competitive advantages for the long terms. However, this is not enough. It needs a realities that can connect universities and research and industries. And these realities can be the cluster. The cluster can be the glue between industries and research in order to create the compass for the enterprises in order to detect the real roadmap to achieve the objectives related to these disruptive trends. So the roadmap to sustainability, the roadmap to digitalization, and the roadmap to resilience. So to allow to companies, to small, medium enterprise and big companies to achieve these objectives, considering both the technological and research push and the market pull, considering all the life cycle management of the product and of the services. And in these terms, this is also the threefold scopes of our research observatory, since the main scopes of the Sustainable and Digital Beauty Observatory of Politecnico is to create a pre-competitive permanent table of critical analysis related to the innovation, both related to the technological aspect and to the sustainability aspect, to foster the innovation within the beauty ecosystem. And of course, these threefold scopes is related to research from one side, since research often anticipates the market. so allows the company to create a long-term competitive advantage, detecting which are the real disruptive trends for the market and which are the real roadmap to achieve the goals of these disruptive trends. And then also community and communication in order to provide the tools to sharing and spreading the knowledge and the culture among the companies of the sector and among the research side and the industry side. So within the observatory, this is a working group. So the observatory is at the ecosystem level, so tries to embrace all the stakeholders of the cosmetic and beauty supply chains, from the producer to the distributor, but also to the logistic operators and association, and also services development, in order to create the broader network as possible. And in this sense, the cluster can be, as I said, the glue of this kind of stakeholders between the cosmetic sector and the university, in order to create the real bridge between the research and the industry. So sustainability and digitalization, as I said, are the two main pillars of the observatory. So from one side, from the sustainability side, we aims to map all the innovative solutions that the different stakeholders of the cosmetic supply chain can achieve within the product and service life cycle, but also to understand which is the real roadmap and the real methodologies and instruments to achieve the sustainability goals. And of course, this is a very important topic for the sector, since in order to create a real sustainable model for cosmetic sector and cosmetic enterprises, it needs to be able to measure the impact of the sustainability solution. And here the main keywords are three. So sustainable procurement, in order to procure the right and innovative and renewable raw materials from the materials and energies point of view, but also resource efficiency and resource effectiveness, in order to reuse both in the product and in the packaging point of view the right amount of resources in order to be sustainable along the entire supply chains. And of course, in the same way, also the digitalization is a main important topic for the sector, since allows the enterprises to be more resilient, more agile, and more flexible from the data management point of view, and in order to exploit digital solution and advanced technologies to create more flexible factories and more flexible enterprises. So the last slide regarding the tools that we use within the observatory in order to achieve this threefold objective, and in order to detect this kind of roadmap related to sustainability and digitalization. In order to do this, we exploit different kind of tools and instruments, like analysis methodologies, interpretative models, but also case studies, conference, survey, and so on, in order to create a roundtable, a pre-competitive roundtable that involves different kind of stakeholders of the supply chains to meet from one side, as I said, the industry, and from the other side, the scientific excellence of the university. So I stop here.
Thank you, Roberto. Thank you very much, Roberto. Really interesting. We will see if the driving scenario will include, as we hope, the sustainability and all the digital aspects. I will give the word now to Adria. Adria Martinez-Vileta, good morning, welcome. The project manager from Beauty Cluster Barcelona.
Yeah, it's correct. when I can share. Okay, perfect. Wait a moment. Okay, you can see the screen?
Yes, you can go.
So, good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for this opportunity to share our experience and our analysis about the affectation of the COVID-19 in the beauty value chain. So let's know, first of all, more about Beauty Cluster Barcelona with a few relevant data. Okay, we was founded in 2014. We have 2,000 members. Okay, and 80% of companies are from Catalonia, and the other 20 from other Spain regions. We are gold label in cluster management science this year, 2020, and part of the Catalonia Clusters program. And our drivers are innovation, go international, networking, and training. Okay, here we have some partnerships and projects that are, was relevant in this period. We was co-founders in of the global cosmetic clusters. We was partners in the Cosmetic for Wellbeing, that was an European project, and two main projects in our cluster that help us in this period is one is our own brand in the training for training in the beauty industry. And in 2020, we launched our own virtual marketplace, Virtui, for the beauty industry. Okay, so let's talk about the industry in Spain, the beauty industry in Spain. We are talking about value chain. Here you have our value chain in Beauty Cluster Barcelona with our members represented, every member in his area. So the beauty and personal care in Spain is generally considered fairly resilient, with consumers regarding many of the products necessary for the groomed appearance that is important to them and for their overall skin health. However, in 2020, the industry is expected to suffer an overall negative impact due to both the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown and weakening economic conditions in our country. It is not.
Attends, j'écoute un truc en fait. Non, t'inquiète, mais du coup, je suis.
It is not all negative news. However, the dominance of mass products within the industry will prove mass beauty and personal care to be more resilient than premium ranges. Okay, so within the competitive landscape, several players, as we will see as an example in next slides, have been seen to alter their operations in 2020 in order to produce hand sanitizers, which has been in much greater demand during the pandemic. So some manufacturers have done so in order to provide hand sanitizers free for healthcare workers or people in their essential roles in the society. And as I said, beauty and personal care and maintaining a groomed appearance remains important to Spaniards. So most of the main categories are expected to witness normalization following the 2020 lockdown and achieve at least positive value growth over the next years. We can see it in the next slide here. However, recovery is expected to be slow, as value growth is likely to be tempered by the weaker economic circumstances predicted for Spain from 2020, before all the pandemic situations. Okay, so let's go with some examples. Okay, I have 4 examples. They are really quick from companies that derivates in change on our value chain, and after that we will focus on our performance as a cluster, whose main objective is to improve the competitiveness of the industry. So the first example obviously is related with the alcoholic gels. Here we see how Pierre Fabre laboratories had to reconfigure a production line used for shampoos, use bottles normally used by one of their brands, gather the components necessary to manufacture the gel, and have all the labels printed as soon as possible. All of these are little changes in the value chain at the end. that affects a lot of companies in the industry. Another example, the second one, is the example of Martiderm that adapt its facilities to help with donation of hand creams to pharmacies and hospitals due to the excessive use of soaps, hydroalcoholic gels, and face masks. These elements are well, could be harmful for the skincare. Okay. Another example, this is the next one is a case about how to maintain the company near its community of consumers. Here in this case, Bella Aurora Laboratories detected a significant increase in the volume of skincare consultation driven by lockdown. So they have decided to reorganize its teams to offer fast and close customer service with new and reinforced services, as we can see in this list. Okay. And the next and last example is related to the e-commerce and testing products with the case of Birchbox. They have growing sales during this period, but they have learned several things, as its president says, to achieve an online delivery system that must be secure and adequate to the current demand in the industry. Okay, once in these industry examples, let's see our performance as a cluster to continue improving the competitiveness of our value chain against last changes in this pandemic situation. Okay, the key performance actions from the cluster, we have here a list. We putting all the resources of the cluster to interconnect for helping the companies or needs like lack of suppliers of alcohol for hydroalcoholic products. And our marketplace always has been available and connected, and we will put available an email contact for all the COVID-19 related demands and can transmit it to the industry. We keep the industry connected. We have organized more than 40 online activities for more than 6,000 attendees. So we keep the industry connected to the future, alive, and avoid the reactive attitude, being proactive by generating a balanced amount of activity, especially focused on our community needs. Okay. The third is the impact on the stakeholders with a strong communication attitude to boost your industry, but also to project the cluster as a useful tool for your value chain. Here we have the examples that I'm talking about. All is an example of our amount of activities. Okay, a cluster should be a dynamic environment even more during the COVID. Okay. Another one, I was talking about our stakeholders. We bring worldwide information jointly with our colleagues of Cosmetic Valley. Justin will talk for sure later. We bring worldwide information and connection supported by our partnerships to solve supply chain problems and other specific needs and information about the other countries' situation. We have 3 different sessions with different countries. And to final my presentation, to finalize it, I elaborate a heat map, okay, a kind of heat map on the effect of COVID-19 on the beauty value chain. I will comment that, and if you want, after my presentation, we can comment it, okay? So here we see it, and this map is elaborated in the cluster after the lockdown period to show the affectations in our value chain. Okay, we see the red areas which have suffered the most from lockdown periods, and the green areas that have been able to adapt due to some internal or external circumstances to these new changes in consumers' needs. Okay, we see in the consultancy and education, more in the education part, we see that there are 2 colors. In red, we could find the entities that based their model on classroom training and have had to readapt all their courses to be able to offer it online. And in the other hand, we have all the digital native training entities, that these situations has been a strong point to offer their services. Okay, we see too that perfumery and professional channel, due to the closure of hair and beauty salons during the lockdown, and the whole area related to on-site retailing here, and suffered this period a lot compared with other value chain actors. Okay, we have detected an increased demand in the areas of packaging and dermocosmetics, as we see in the previous examples. Okay, so and finally, I would to emphasize the opportunity that the whole digital section, artificial intelligence, and retail knowledge has and will have. Okay, with the aim of companies can control their own e-commerce. Okay, because it's not only to sell online, it's to control the sales. Okay, so in conclusion, we are in front of change in our value chain, of course, but we don't know yet if this change could be permanent and structural in this chain or not. So what's your opinion? We can comment it later. So thank you.
Thank you, Adria. Thank you very much for this inspiring presentation. And this is a really good, very good question. So how there will be, how much uncertainty from the consumer side and demand side. I will give the word to the last speaker now, Justin Hegon, project manager from the Cosmetic Valley. Thank you, Justin, for being here.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Thank you, welcome. Yes, now you are the speaker, you have the speaker rights.
I'm gonna
Perfect, yes. We see your screen.
Okay, like that. Okay. So good morning, everyone. I'm going to introduce you the Cosmetic Valley facing a sanitary crisis. So first of all, some word regarding the French cosmetic industry and especially in Cosmetic Valley. So Cosmetic Valley is the French cluster dedicated to cosmetic, and we are the coordinator of the French cosmetic industry. We provide some services to help members to develop their business and improve their research and innovation projects, etc. And we have also a strong international dynamic because we are the coordinator of the Global Cosmetic Cluster, which is the meta cluster, which represents 25 cosmetic cluster all around the world. And we are also the coordinator of the Global Cosmetic Cluster Europe, born from a European project. Some word regarding the cosmetic sector in France. So the French cosmetic market in 2018 represents around 11 billion euros and 15% of the European market. Cosmetic sector is the world leader of French exports with around 14 billion euros. The French cosmetic industry represent 3,200 companies, including 80% of SMEs, but also 250,000 jobs and a turnover of 45 billion euros. When I say French cosmetic industry, I speak about the whole value chain of the cosmetic industry. So I include brand, but also packaging, manufacturing, raw material, testing, analysis, etc. So now regarding the COVID impact. So what was the impact on consumers? So first of all, a mental stress, of course, but moreover, the less social interaction was in link with less cosmetic use. For example, toiletry use has been reduced, less shaving, fragrance decrease, makeup slowed down. So this consumer state of mind has a big impact on their consumption, and so of course on companies. According to this consumer behavior, hygiene products increase a lot. We saw self-care movement, and because of the mental stress, consumers are looking for wellness through home fragrance, etc. Regarding impact on the industry, so we have seen a strong mobilization for the production of hand sanitizer, reduction of R&D action, but more time to brainstorm about new projects. Companies have learned to work differently, of course, but they are worried about the recovery. For example, difficulties regarding supply and financial strength. We have seen also a big impact on retail with a 93% fall in sales physical store, a 9% decrease in online sales. Regarding impact on exportation, just to sum up, French exportation in 2019 represent for the perfume and cosmetic product around 15 billion euros, and for soap and home care 2 billion euros. And just a little comparison between 2019 and 2020. I don't have. I'm sorry. A little comparison between 2019 and 2020. Perfume and cosmetic French exportation decreased by 21% during first 5 months in 2020. And regarding soap and home care, French exportation increased by 1% during these same months. Sorry, I have some trouble with my presentation. Okay. Now, regarding Cosmetics Valley action during the lockdown. The lockdown was implemented in France from March 14th to May 11th. In March 17th, LVMH and L'Oréal have started to produce hand sanitizer to provide hospital, and two days after, Cosmetic Valley has launched a marketplace for trading raw material and components in order to produce hand sanitizer and provide them to hospital and more. And we have seen a strong mobilization from all the industry. For example, in only 2 weeks, the hand sanitizer shortage has been ended. Other action, as Adria said, we have organized some webinar in partnership with Biocluster Barcelona dedicated to analyze the current situation and on each country with key stakeholders. And if you want to watch the webinar, you can go through this link. Now, regarding Cosmetic Valley action to the economic relaunch, some months ago, we decided to launch an online survey about current issue and prospects, which has received a lot of response from all professionals from the cosmetic industry, with around 400 proposals from the whole value chain, from professionals from the whole value chain of the cosmetic industry. So with this survey, we decided to organize in October 15th, the National Conference for the Fragrance and Cosmetic Industry, with 4 topics that we decided to highlight: consumer and retail toward the circular sector, connected and sustainable supply chain, competitiveness, and international trade. So the goal of this national conference is to unveil the results of the national conference survey and to present a strong recovery plan for the industry. So the aim is to get together the ecosystem to help SMEs in the relaunch, to promote collaborative initiative, to drive innovation, to increase a collective dynamic, a commitment and a solidarity, and to announce concrete and efficient measures. So the national conference is the event for the economic relaunch of the French cosmetic and perfume industry. At international level, Cosmetic Valley organize all the year Cosmetic 360, the international exhibition dedicated to innovation for the perfume and cosmetic industry, all the year in October. But this year we decided to organize e-Cosmetic 360 on October 12 and 13th. So why we are organizing e-Cosmetic 360? Why a lot of exhibition has been postponed? So we decided to organize the digital edition of our exhibition to anticipate the sanitary crisis in October, and especially because our company needed to keep the business going, and the virtual event was our best option. We did not postpone the event because most of our company are still working even through this crisis, and we are here to guarantee that business is still running. So we are building a platform based on artificial intelligence with matchmaking and data for exhibitor. So we had to be here this year. We could not let the industry down. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Justine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very interesting presentation. So I would like to raise again some questions that some of you was asking. For example, are these trends that we see, we have seen in this period are going there to stay permanent also in the future or not? For example, I see the very interesting initiative from the Beauty Cluster Barcelona and also Cosmetic Valley for the marketplace that you realize in order to cope with the shortage of the sanitizer and other components. Do you think that that services are going to stay in the future, or have you designed that only, I mean, for the crisis period? I do not want to start to answer. Adria or Justine, if you're here.
I think that at the beginning, everybody that can produce this kind of either alcoholic solution, they do it because the market was not ready to the demand of these products. But with the time and all formalization of all these changes, we don't know yet if the companies that, because we have alimentary companies, cosmetic companies producing this kind of products, but I don't know if in maybe in 1 year, I don't know if the alimentary companies will produce that, or only the cosmetic industry will be in charge of this kind of product. I don't know really, Laria.
Yes, I understand. And Justine introduced also the fact that all the exhibitions now are moving to organize online edition. For everyone is the same. I don't know what Adria or Matteo would like to add. And just to be clear, every one of you of the participants can interact in this moment. So if you have any questions to all participants, please don't hesitate. Matteo.
Yes. Also for us in Italy, we are a strong partner of Cosmoprof, that is the main cosmetic show in worldwide, and they moved to the next year all the exhibition. We are waiting. So the only confirmed is the edition in Hong Kong with a lot of question about this edition. But so this is another issue. So our job is based on relationship, especially the supply chain, the production field. So take out all the show is another crisis for us, because we are on we can offer, present, keep in touch with the customer and the key player of the market. So we hope that for the next year the main exhibition will find something to create a physical show, because is a good answer, the e edition. But anyway, so we need a relationship, and I'm talking on the supply chain field, but also the retail field with the consumer. So it's the same as the shops. So anyway, we hope so.
Thank you, Matteo. I see some questions. I don't know if anyone want to add what Matteo was considering.
Well, Hilary, I think that first in a near future, they have to reconvert, and not all in virtual or digital, but yes in a hybrid solutions, you know, because you have a wide range of you can reach more public, more another the international way. It's really enormous with these solutions. So I think that are useful the physical fairs and traditional fairs, but it's not as enough to develop only an app and you say that it's an hybrid event. No, it has to be a real hybrid event. If I am in Barcelona and the event is in Italy, I have to have the same options that the persons who attend physically to the fair.
I see.
And we are working in this way in our event.
Thank you, Adria. I see some question in the chat. Fred Levitan, I don't know if you want to comment. He says, how do you see digitalization impacting the customer experience, especially in the areas where sales rely heavily on sampling? Who wants to answer? Every one of you?
Well, I put example of the Bitbox case that, of course, the sampling wall will change. The first wall that will change the sampling idea, because you can't go to the store and touch and test any product, because with the new limitation that's not possible. So I think that are models to reach the consumer with your sampling products, but it has to all to the online. So I think so.
Thank you. Aurora, you asked Justin, what is the large export of brands?
Regarding key figure, for example, in fragrance and cosmetic export in 2019 represent around 3 billion euros. And soap and home care export in 2019, 0.5 billion euros. Is it It's okay for you?
Aurora, would you like to comment?
Well, I don't know what is the content of that. Maybe it's licensing other countries to produce your brands. I don't know.
Sorry, what do you mean, Aurora?
The map, the pie graph was showing the exports, and the other ones were things that we can materialize, like perfumes, creams, etc. But this large parcel, it was the larger parcel, it is, was mentioned as brands. So when you export a brand, what do you really export? It's money that comes into the country because you license the use of a brand in another country? That's my question.
Okay. I'm gonna search regarding brand. When we export, it's 26% body care, 21% perfume in 2019, 21% perfume, and after other product, 14% hair care, etc. But if you want, I can send you, if you want, a little charts to explain what kind of product is more exported from France. If you want.
Yes, so yes, Aurora is they are products sold internationally, so not licensed, if I understand well.
Okay, don't mind.
Thank you. And Jamie asked a question to Matteo.
Yes, I can reply both to Jimmy and let me see. So also the changing of the business model. So we manage we must find something different. So when the personal touch is impossible, so we move as today in a web meeting and try to move the experience through the web. For example, to send physically sample on the office of our customer, and then use the meeting web to speak. So to balance physical experience and web experience with the customer relationship. And I can reply as the same to the previous question about the sampling. So we have to move. I said in my speech that the crises sometimes are useful for change the business model. And so the first company that are able to adapt and to find the new business model, and this was a question that I sent to the cluster, to Politecnico, to the people that studies better these scenarios. And so the company that find for first this new way to do business, this new business model, can survive better, can be the first launch in the future. So you see, sometimes you have to try and to ask and to be sure that the focus is reached. So anyway, we have to change. So very fast, like the conversion of the production of the hydroalcoholic gel. So we switch our production is in 2 weeks, so 1 week. So how can it possible? Sometimes the timing of an order is 2 months, and we was able to switch in 2 weeks. So anyway. I think that is the solution. Also, if we see in the history, in the past, the other crisis, 2009, so it was different problem, but same solution. So
Yes, interesting. Just also to be inspired by the previous entrepreneurial experience, of course. Antonio, would you like to comment? We see you in the city.
Yes, yes. Today I am in Madrid. I will have a meeting with the Secretary of State of Science to speak about the recovery plans here in Spain, and that is precisely the topic for tomorrow and for Friday. So I think it's time to close today's session. I want to congratulate Ilaria, your work as moderator. I think that I have a strong competition, I see, and I am sure that you will.
I have a
No,
very
no.
good example. So this is, thank you very much, Antonio. Really thank you for the chance to talk about the cosmetic value chain. Thank you.
It has been a wonderful session. Thank you to everybody for it. And as I was saying, tomorrow we will hear Annie Renders from Flanders government and Elena Moura from EAPMAE, Portugal, speaking out how clusters can be or will be involved in their recovery plans, and that's a critical point at this moment. So I really encourage you to attend, to hear and to contribute, because it's where cluster must work now during the next months and for sure during the next years. We need to place our proposals on those recovery plans, and the intention of these sessions is to give you samples and ideas on how to do that. Thank you very much again. Grazie mille, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you from Positano. Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you.